Hello then, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So, part 5. Didn't think we'd reach this point. Secretly hoping to reach this point, but here we are. Now, as to whether we can actually finally complete our orders in this session will be really up in the air. Ideally, we will be able to, as I have been keeping THG waiting for some time. But we do have much to do. Much to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to load up the tracker here. Right, don't save that. We still have to decide, obviously, in regards to the R&D. But we are getting there. We are most certainly getting there. Not too long left, really. And a lot of the decisions aren't too immediate anyway. Hello there, Andre. How you doing, my friend? Also, I hope that you read Zaipang at some point. Zaipang. Oh yeah, Zaipang. I forgot about Zaipang. I'm just going to type it in my browser just so I don't forget about that again. Okay, I've got that out. I'll try to remember that one. But I'll remind myself. Hey, it's good to see you, my man. How are you doing, my friend? Okay. So we were back to, obviously, the issue of production, that sort of thing. Let's go back into the game. We'll bring up our little handy-dandy tool over here. Now, I realise, obviously, the difference. Scenario 1 is the Grand campaign, I do believe. So, it does have some different suggestions there versus the different scenarios. Not too much different, though. We did complete... Let's see, I've still got the little notepad open here, so... Let's see. IGN... Oops. IGN Fighters... Done. IGN Dive Bombers done. IGN Torpedo Bombers done. Oops. Right. We've also done our army aircraft. Well, not actually really touching the army aircraft. Patrol aircraft done. Navy level bombers done. Reconnaissance, we don't really have to touch. At least not for a while. Not for now. Okay. Preparing for a long day, looking at huge spreadsheets of data at work. Are we talking about the stream or are we talking about your actual job? Because you know what, man, I feel like I'm doing the same thing as of late. You know what, I love this. Really do enjoy this. So, it's always good to have something you enjoy. I do hope you enjoy your work. You've got to find that enjoyment in something. Otherwise, it really isn't the right thing for you to be doing. Right, fighter bombs. We're not looking at those until next year anyway, so that's not really something to consider for the moment. Float planes obviously would be quite good. Me too. I really need to learn more about Excel. Really do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over to one side, so I can just see what I'm doing a little bit more. Okay, now we have spent a decent amount of heavy industry, so we do obviously need to take note of that and really decide on the amount of expansion we're going to do. Now, something I was considering as well is, do we actually halt the construction of the Shinano, Yamato, and Musashi? Now, those 3 capital ships would actually gain us a hell of a lot of heavy industry over that time. I think what I might do then is... I don't know. It's one of those. It's not until 10-2 that we can consider that. I suppose it depends really on how hard we want to expand, and at the end of the day, I still have resource constraints anyway in terms of supply. So and that's great, man. I really enjoyed that. That's awesome. Sultan, how you do, my friend? Any tank techs? No. There's different, obviously, models of tanks in the game, but we don't get to interact with them as we do with the aircraft. Okay, so we've set about really speeding up the research of the A6M3A0, the A6M2. Now the A6M2 roof is going to be pretty decent. I do believe that could lead on to the A6M5, which is okay. So at the end of the day, once we have the A6M3A, I can have one production center turn over. Though I do believe that our 0 production would have, well, automatically or would be able to upgrade to the A6M5's A's anyway, so that's not too bad. I think what we need to do then is just get the army aircraft. If I get the main army aircraft done, I should be good to go. So let's see, view, read and view. Okay. Right, so in terms of army fighters, we do need to be researching Tojos, really. Okay, these are working on the Jacks. We'll look through here, and I should be able to identify which are fighters. So the KA-48, 43A and 44 are the fighters. So we have the Tojo over here, which is underway. So what I'm going to do is actually expand that, so at Mambashi. So we are going to expand that by about 22. So that's 220 heavy industry, 2,200 supply. I mean, in the end of the day, we are using a lot of supply here. 220 manpower. Add another 10. And another 10. I can't expand that any more at the moment, so we'll have to bear that in mind. So I'll just edit this figure here. So we're down to 190 then. There we go. Yes, it should be really intriguing once we actually do get our turn delivered and onto the historical gamer. Right, I don't need to bother with the KI-43-2B. Well then again, let's take into consideration then what we have. So we do have the 43-2A, which is November 1942. This one is some way away. I think at the end of the day, it's like, this will arrive... It's not a great situation over here. If I take a look then here... The Tony... So these are all 1943, 44, 45. So these are the ones I would be looking at, obviously, to begin with. The Nates don't need to be bothered with. Let's see. 2A, 3B. I think what I'd be better off doing is actually researching the 2B rather than the 2A. Now, the 2B obviously has greater range, more or less. Maneuverability is lower. It does have armor, though. At the end of the day, I'd rather have the KI-43 2B. And it's not too far away. Obviously, it will be 1943, but we will be soon in 1942 anyway. So, we do have that golden period of 1 to 2 years for R&D. So I think it's definitely worthwhile changing this over. Well, keeping this at the 2B. There's a lot of research there for the Frank. P1Y1, Francis. Now, these are the other interesting ones. So in 1943, we'll have obviously competition with the K-43s and the Tojos. So we'll see what we might want to actually choose instead. So this would arrive, obviously, before the Ki-43 2B and before the Ki-44 2B. So we'd have the Ki-61. Now that is an armoured aircraft, though its range is very low. So perhaps not the best. If I take a look at that in the actual planner, then at least we get a sense of what it actually looks like and possibly more data on its performance. So we'll go to IGA. And we'll look at fighters. Okay. So we're comparing the Ki-43-2B Oscar to the... is it the Jack? Or the Tony? The Tony, then. Okay, so the Tony actually looks very reminiscent of German aircraft design. Altitude is higher. Gun value is obviously significantly higher, which is always a good thing. Ooh, it does use the HA60 though, that is a bit of a killer. It does have a greater service rating, however. Range is significantly lower, however. Endurance is lower. The speed is higher. Cruise speed is actually lower than the Oscar. So, it's one of those that does kind of rule that out. If I go to my engine production... So let's see, air production, engines, HA60. I'm not really producing much of those. What actually uses HA60? Right, the duties. Okay, that is available from 1943. It may be that we consider researching that. If we compare that then... So we'll have the Tony over here then. We'll compare that to the Tojo. So the 2A is available. So we'll be comparing it really to the 2B Tojo. Range is higher here. Climb is much higher. Maneuverability is roughly the same, though the Tony does take it just slightly. You are armoured, which does make a big difference. Surge rating is higher. Gun value is significantly higher here, and it does use a HA-34. The armour and the service rating, though, is rather attractive. The climb rate, though, is a shame, but that armour is very attractive to me. You carry these bombs, but I don't need those bombs, frankly. I really don't. Now, you're only armed with machine gun, while you do have cannon. Which does obviously make a big difference, as cannon has greater penetration. Another alternative would be the KA-61-1C, which does have a higher gun value. Yeah, that gun value. Okay. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to between the KA-43-2B and, I mean, the Tojo. See, the 2A variant is still going to be competent for some time. I'm just thinking, rather than go to the 2B Tojo, it may be worthwhile that we do produce some Tojos. It comes down to the engines, however. That's the thing. I don't want to be producing lots of different engines. Those 40mm cannon are garbage in real life. I can imagine. Okay. Is there always a trade-off between armor and gun value? Those bombers you will be facing need a cannon to be dealt with. That's true. They can be dealt with MG, but the thing is, we also have to bear in mind is we are going to be facing, well, defensive fire. So that is something that we do have to worry about. Maneuverability is only so good. And even when they make a mistake, that piece of armor could make all the difference. I suppose I'm comparing them to Japanese aircraft. I should probably be comparing them to American aircraft. Probably would be a decent idea. But we can do that soon. Right, these ones are obviously out of our range. I could... Right, where does this line lead? So this leads up to 45. That's a decent amount of cannon. But your gun value isn't very good. Maneuverability is okay. It's actually significantly better than the others, actually. Yeah, it seems like maneuverability does suffer. Though this would be the earliest instance of actually having armor. Well, the service rating is higher as well, which is quite nice. Range is lower though, it's about half about the KA-43. Now you do run the HA-45. You run the HA-60. 33, 33, 33, 45, 42, 44, 43. Yeah. I mean, this is it, having pilot survival. Like, we do not have many pilots. We really don't. We don't gain that many. And frankly, we do need to hold on to the ones that we do have. Okay. And if I go to the IGN fighters, this is where we might be able to make up for that. So obviously we'll have the A6M5, which does have decent maneuverability, has cannon. That is fairly slow, potentially. I don't know, is that quite a slow cannon? It seems a little bit slow. Yeah, we need to have armoured. Like, from the Navy, we don't gain armour until 1944, and very late into 1944. And then again, there are the Jacks. The Jacks are rather interesting. I suppose it might come down to the Jack versus the Tony. Or even the KA-44. Sorry, 43. You have the George as well. These are armoured fighters. They are rather light though. 32, 32, 45, 45, 32. Seems like the 35, the engine really in the zeros. How long does that last us? 35, 35, 35. Okay. So that lasts all the way into 1944, so that's good. At least we'll have plenty of use out of the HA-35. The Nakajima. HA-35. So it's between the HA-32 potentially. Though these aircraft, they're not actually carrier capable, which is an issue. What can we do with the... I mean, you do use the HA-35. I think at the end of the day, I think that is really going to be the biggest thing. It means I don't have to spend precious materials developing a second engine line. At least not yet. That runs all the way onto the HA-35, so this would actually do us quite well in terms of production. I could have the Tojos actually make up for the gun value. They do eventually gain armor. And we do eventually gain armor here. But I think that'll be our way to go for the time being. So I'll stick that to the Ki-43-2B. Continue research on the Tojo. I probably should turn over some research to the Tojo. Right, what are these Ki-102s? We'll find that out over here. They're definitely army aircraft. Right, so these are rather late, so 102, 100s. Okay, so we'll change that over. A bunch of work on the Randy. V Tony. 60. Hello there, Gani, how you doing, my friend? I'm pretty good today. Got the day off tomorrow, so that's fantastic. It means I can not feel too bad about doing the longer streams, which is awesome. Okay, so I think what we'll do then is we'll actually change over a lot of this R&D over here. So we do have the 102s. So we have the 102A. I'm also seeing the 102B. Basically different model of aircraft, 102C. We'll change this over to the Ki-43 and the 44 being the Tojo and the Randy. Sorry, the Tojo and the Oscar. Decent amount of R&D that will be done on the Tojo. So I'll work on the Oscar. There we go, 2B. Just double check, make sure I'm getting the right one. That's good to hear, my man. I'm glad you're doing well. Yeah, I'm looking at the 2B. Right, fantastic. We do lose a lot of our R&D facilities. Well, a lot of those R&D facilities, but that's fine. Now it's 2 on here. I think what we might need to do then is really concentrate more on the Tojo. Bring the Tojo into production sooner. Right. 2A variant is what I'm needing. We'll change the other Randys out to the Tojo 2A. There we go. I mean, we can acquire that pretty quickly. What we'll probably do then is in the following turns is when we have more, well, heavy industry is dedicate more of that to the Tojo R&D. But at least we'll have that being worked on now. I mean, we'll have a decent facility here. So that's the army fighters done for now. So what we need to do then is look at the bombers. Okay. I've already done the Navy level bombers, so that's fine. So the Army level bombers. Now we do start, let's see. Okay. So these are all the bombers that we do start with. Service rating, you do have armor, which is rather impressive, but I'm looking really more towards the range. You do use the Nakajima HA35, which is rather impressive. We do have the 34s over here. Now, the 34s might be a line to follow, considering that is the engine we'd use for the Tojo. So that's not a bad thing, at least we'd actually have a use to it. Range isn't the greatest. Okay. Hello there, my friend, how you doing there? HA31. What we'll do then is we'll go to the actual track and we'll compare the actual statistics of the, well, bombers. So this is what the army's equipped with at the moment. Now these lilies are rather intriguing. What we need to figure out then is really their actual bomb capacity. That probably would be a decent idea. So these are 1942. Gun value is pretty high here. We do have some armor as well, which is nice to see. These are very late. Seems like it very much comes down to just a choice between the Helen or... Armor's very nice to see. I mean, the armor might even be the deciding factor here. Service rating 2. Though the Helen, the Ki-49, does actually carry a larger bomb complement. The Ki-21 uses the HA-32, however, and has no armor. Right, so it's compared between the Ki-49LA and the Ki-48. Yep, 1B. Okay. So we already have you, so we'd be looking at the 2A. Is it the 2A that we would be looking at? The... Oops. Yeah, 2A. So we compare models. Speed's higher. Endurance is higher over here. Range is roughly the same. Altitude's higher, which does make a difference. Climb speed's actually higher. Maneuverability's higher. Seems like this is obviously a much larger bomber in general. The armor does sway a little bit this way. Let's see. What model of the Helen? I could go straight for the 2A rather than the 1A. I do feel like that'd be a wiser choice. So the 2A. Now the 2A does have the higher range. They're out 5 months between each other. So is there another one to compare? No, this would be the end of the Lily. Durability is higher here. Now, you do have a decent defensive armament, and you do carry these heavier bombs. You only use 2 engines, which is not too bad. Let's see the Sonias. Hickory. Ida. Peggy. I love the look of that. And the Patsy. Okay, so I think we should really go... I mean, then again, the Lily... It doesn't have the greatest bomb load. But, you know, that's what sways it. We need the bomb load. So it's going to be decided on the Helen, the KA-49. Right. Helen 1. I'm looking at the 2B model, aren't I? Right. Oh, then again, no, we'll research the L1 as obviously that would lead us on and would actually have some production capabilities. So we'll go for the 1A. When I say L1 or 1A, it's mostly independent. Well, interchangeable. I'm awkward like that, aren't I, guys? Okay, so we'll go for the 1A. Yep. There we go. Decent amount of research will be done there. Hello there, Carl. You haven't missed too much. We've been basically discussing more R&D, trying to work out what is the best for us. We decided on a bomber, which is going to be the KI-49 2B model, but the one before it is the 1A, so we have to go through the KI-49L, 1A Helen, or LA Helen. And there we go. Okay, Peggy's KI-40, sorry, 83s. I think this is where we'll leave the R&D for now, as we do have to obviously make further decisions. And I think obviously having some experience of what THG is going to be doing is going to actually help us out in deciding on our R&D. Well, yeah. The main reason for the KA-49 Helen is, if we take a look here, so it came down to between the Helen and the Lily. Now the Lily does, well, the Lily 2A does have armor, and it is out earlier, but the bomb capacity is lower. The armaments are lower. Service rating is the same. The range is the same. Altitude is a little bit higher here. Climbability is higher. Maneuverability is higher. But durability is higher this end. Now, the model I really want is a 2A, which does have significantly higher range, but it does carry 1,000 kilograms of bombs, whereas this only carries 400, which does make a big difference. Uses the HA-34. Well, this does still use the 35. That'd be nice, but this uses the 34, which is what the Tojos are going to be using, which gives me more reason to expand the Tojo manufacturing, which is a good thing. Plus the armament is higher, which is good, we need that. Having the load value is quite nice. The armor, it's going to be good. The range, though, does make a big difference. At the end of the day, I want to use them in different roles, and it might even come down to we have to go for a naval attack, so at the end of the day I do need to hit, and if I hit anything I need to hit it hard. So that is going to be one of the reasons for that. Okay, so what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to take my little notes over here, work out how much heavy industry we've spent and how much we have remaining as to how much I can throw into expansion of the industry. Okay. Okay, so 1,470. So from the industry, how much do we have remaining? So from our surplus, we'll have that number, so let's minus that. Okay, what was that? 2,614? 2,614 minus 1,470. That leaves us with 1,144 points of heavy industry. Well, this is it. We aren't, we don't really need to worry too much. I suppose at the end of the day, I do have my pool of heavy industry, so I don't need to worry. So I guess at the end of the day, I just need to worry about the supply. That's the actual concerning issue. Right, I do need these. Hiroshima. Okay, we'll expand these guys, bring them up to actual size. We don't need to worry about, obviously, the HA course, sorry, heavy industry course. As you can see, it's coming out of the actual pool, which is not a bad thing. Would be nice to keep within our surplus, but at the end of the day, it's not vital. I do need to be mindful of the amount of supplies, however, especially here. Okay, knock that down by 2. There we go. So you can see R&D is going to use a lot. Okay. It might be that we look towards the actual arrival date. Can I actually do that? I don't think I can. Don't forget the B5 and Kate production. That's very true. Right, I have to go to the Tojos. I think everything we've changed over, what we'll do then is we'll upgrade the amount of production. Seems none can be upgraded there. Right, Sue does need to be very careful. Right, there we go. Still plenty of manpower in the pool. Okay. Let's remind ourselves of the duty again. I believe it's a naval bomber. Is it the dive bomber? It is indeed the dive bomber. Okay, the D4Y1 Judy. Would actually be a good idea to bring that into production. I mean, this is it. I could have left this, but I think if we get everything done in terms of R&D now, at least the vast majority of it done now, then there's not going to be much to regret. Just got to be careful about the amount of supplies we're using. Okay. G3, M3. We can change more R&D to the G3, M3. G3, M3. Now, these are obviously larger aircraft, so this is something to bear in mind. Takayama doesn't have a huge amount of supply, so I do need to be careful. But that's fine, we'll bring that up there. Right, here we go. Ooh, yes, we've used all of the supply here on Bashi. That was me not being careful. So we do need to be very, very, very alert here. Right, supply, yes. Definitely up that amount. Might have some issues there. It will receive supply, definitely. So that's at least something. But this is why we need to be careful about the amount of expansion that we're doing. Because we can miss things like that. Okay. Kyoto and Tokyo. So we're fine on supply. And one more. There we go. Superb. Okay. We can also add more R&D as we see fit. It's a little bit of a interesting concept, interesting concept, considering there's so much to look at. Right, we'll have you work on the P1Y1. P1Y1. There's a lot of aircraft that aren't, well, they're really non-starters. Yeah, supply isn't huge over here either. Okay. A lot of these 84s, Peggy's really not any use. Hello there, Lorenzo. How you doing, my friend? Did you know that we live in a society? Shocking, isn't it? I'd like some more research towards the K5, actually. I wish it told you a lot more details. That would make these things a lot more, well, a lot easier. Definitely would make it easier. Okay. Oh no, I have these details, but what I mean is it's like I wish I could actually see what the engine type is. Well, I mean, it does tell me the actual engine itself, but what I mean is it's like I wish I could see, like, for example, like Naval, Army, fighter bomber, level bomber, that sort of thing. That's what I'd love to see. G3M3, there we go. Okay. I think at the end of the day we concentrate on the aircraft coming sooner, and then obviously we can switch this over. Right. B792 Grace. B6 and 1 Jill, so these are the torpedo bombers. I can't do Sue, of course. Mabashi, well, I can't do Mabashi. I could do Sue. We do have more resources there. I went overboard here, and that's going to definitely hurt me. But we'll learn from that. So I'll have to do this later. Okay. We're not too far. And with that, we're pretty much looking at just expanding the industry. So we spent quite a lot of HE. Well, I keep saying HE. We spent a lot of heavy industry right now. But the convoy system is done. The cargo ships from around Japan and all of these different areas are sorted. R&D is the basics. The main important parts of the R&D are done. What I need to do is I need to really sort of figure out what my R&D plan is going to be. And see you later there, Gary. Have a great one. What we need to do now then is just finish off the industry. How I'm going to expand my industry, really. So let's see. Engines is going to be an intriguing one. So I'm going to definitely expand the HA35 production significantly. I think what we'll do is we'll up this by another 120. Bring this to about 300 engines a month, which is probably a good idea. At the end of the day, I'm going to increase my zero production to about 100 planes initially. So let's see here, air production, so airframes. At the moment we are producing, let's see, building. So we are producing around 56 a month here at the moment. So now obviously each one of those does need an engine. So if I go here. Okay, so obviously we'll have 100 engines required here. We are producing, can I sort by 35? That's a good idea. So 35. Uh-huh. I'd like to increase that as well. See, we can see... I don't know, I think maybe upgrade that to about 60. We'll bring them up to nice, round, neat numbers to begin with. So about 50, I'll ignore the KI-48 1B. That's fine. The 56 I'm going to ignore completely. So we'll... Actually, I think I'll increase the production to... Okay. Right. There's just so many choices. But we'll produce about another... Yeah, about 300 engines a month is going to be a decent starting point. Okay, massive expansion there. You can see that's used a lot of heavy industry. Right. 34 is what I need to expand as well. In fairness, I need to expand a lot of these engines. No supply left here. Okay. Don't need the 31. I'm going to ignore the 32 as well, not going to increase that. Right, the 33 is obviously going to be required. So if I see here... can I see the planning? Okay, 33 gives us... So eventually the Zero start using the 33. That's a good point then. So this is used by the dive bombers. It's used by the torpedo bombers. Oh no, these are the other dive bombers, okay. Used by reconnaissance aircraft. It's used by our naval bombers. It'll be used by the G3M3, as well as the H6, so like our patrol bombs. It's used by quite a few, to be fair. Okay, so we'll increase the production of the HA-33. Perhaps it might be we figured out how many we actually need. Minus 42. Potential engine use is 173. Right, okay. We'll increase that to about 100 then. Nagoya. Right. Okay, takes us to 100 engines. Again, this is a Tokyo. I really do feel like we need to expand this, so we'll go for about 500 engines a month. It could be very dangerous to go so heavy. So what we'll do then is expand this slowly. Yeah, okay, we might as well go. Okay. So this will bring us up to 500 HA-35 engines a month, which is a good, hell of a good start. So I'm happy with that. Okay, so that's good. That is our engine production. Now, in terms of other production, this is going to be the interesting question. I've turned off the armament production for the time being. I think what we'll do is we'll actually consider increasing the size of the vehicle production facilities. I could do that in Yokohama. We'll bring this up to about 30. Same in Osaka. Okay. Not much supply here, so I'm not going to use that. Hello there, Patrick. How you doing, my friend? Okay, 20. Another 10. Right, so what that's going to do for us is actually bring the amount of vehicle production up quite nicely. One more. Okay. Then we'll upgrade this to size 30 once we have the supplies there. I mean, I do, but I don't want to really push it. Right. Now, what we'll do is we'll leave that as it is for the time being. That leaves me with some, well, quite a decent amount of heavy industry within the pool. Decent amounts of manpower. At the end of the day, I'm using a lot here. I'm going to be using a lot. So I do need to be very careful. 432 for the vehicle. That's obviously going to increase. Okay, now we can begin to take a look at the missions then. So we've sorted out the cargo, we've sorted out the R&D more or less, we've sorted out the convoy system. We need to now really get onto the grander subjects. I think that would probably where we need to go now. So let's see then. In terms of, well, ASW is probably not a bad place to start out. Actually would be a nice way to... Yeah, I think if we finish off Japan first, I think that'd be the best way to go. So what we need to do now is we need to figure out how we're going to work out the anti-submarine missions. So what we'll do is we'll go to ASW Combat. Now we do have the Yugoa, which is a Wataki class. Only a rating of 2, so not very, very effective. No mind here. Yeah, this is where the fun begins. This is where we start to actually see things on the map, so that's going to be fun. Okay. Maneuver is quite important, however. For example, this has a much, much greater maneuver. Speed is significantly better too. Okay, so we'll name these as well. So this is the Nagasaki ASW DD Task Force 1. And what we'll do then is obviously your base in Nagasaki. We'll set your route. So patrol zone. I need to really patrol around this area. Okay. I'll start our patrol over this way. And we'll have it head over here. Though that might be too far out. Okay, this'll do. Yeah. And then again, actually. Set that there. Yeah, we'll put some into the convoy. Okay, I think that'll work out quite nicely. Linger a day in each area. Draft the kids, build mini subs and kamikaze them. Oh dear. And then again, you know what? It might be worthwhile to actually have you travel with the convoy. So I think that's probably a good... yeah, I'd say that's probably a better question. Right, so we'll disband this task force. What I'll do then is, let's see. Yamashiro, you're use an A. Kasudi. Use an N. And you send in. You are heading to Shanghai. Right, you're heading to Osaka. Right, you're going to Port Arthur. Okay. How many destroyers do we have here then? Only one there. In Port Arthur, we do have 4 destroyers. So you can be assigned to be protected by Yugoa. There you go, you're going to head out. Port capacity of 2. We do have a decent amount of supplies there, but no fuel. There we go. Group them together. Now, the range isn't the greatest. I think what we'll do then is we'll build it up in sort of bands of security. I think that might be the best way to do it. Move you out here. Yeah, if we have expand outwards, I think that might be a good way. I wish we had a 4th one as well. So we'll see here, they'll patrol this band. So then I'll have another 2 patrol boats patrol further out. And then we'll have it start in the opposite direction. Now these are actually pretty competent. Okay, so we'll start out here then. Well, when it comes to the aircraft carriers, we are going to be constructing aircraft carriers, of course. Though, as to whether we will be building the super heavy battleships is another question. Okay, so dating each other. So yeah, we'll start this way, then head this way, and now what we can do is start to really fill this up. Or at least we'll have a constant patrol in this area. Okay. See you later there, Andre. Well, Andrew? Andres? Andre? Andre. See you later, Andre. I think. I don't know how you actually pronounce that. Have fun, my dude. Need to name these as well. Now you can go further out. This is a bit of a wild card. Okay, so what we'll have going on here then, I'll just draw it out quickly just so you guys can see it. It'll make a little bit more sense on the actual screen. So what we'll do is we'll have one start off and head in this direction. I should make that a little bit smaller. So they'll head this way. Actually choose a better colour, that'd be a good idea. So one will start, go like that. Then the other will go like that. Then the other will head this way, and then this way. So at least we have things working in bands. And then I guess what I'll do is actually try to work it out this way. So if we have something like the same in this area around Shanghai, then a larger one goes like that, more or less. And then we can have, obviously, the ASW between the convoys. So if we have something work a little like this, then, in terms of actual shipping lanes, and working out where they are, that's probably a good idea. Okay. I hope they do a November sale or Christmas sale for these games and pick most up. Yeah, that'd be awesome, dude. I imagine they probably will be doing. Okay, so that's all our patrol boats here. Let's see, what do we have over here? We do have some sub-chasers. Honestly, such a good game. Such a good game. There really is nothing else like it. Even of the Grigsby games, there's nothing else like it. Now, these guys are superb. Now, I do have an interesting purpose for them. And that is going to be the Hunter-Killers. So we'll have them based at Nagasaki as well. So Nagasaki. Yeah, Nagasaki. Hunter. Now what their role is going to be. They have low speed and low endurance. I don't really want them out there all the time, as they might be liable to being destroyed. But the idea here is, with their very high anti-submarine armament, is once we know where an actual submarine is we send these guys in. And then what they'll do is they'll concentrate on that area, they'll concentrate on where the sub is, and will destroy it. And at least in that way, it'll be a mix of passive ASW, so passive anti-submarine warfare, and active anti-submarine warfare duties that we carry out. Okay, so we do have the same over here, so this could be another hunter-killer group. I think in this way, it's going to be quite a mix of, well, yeah, abilities, really. Do I have another patrol boat? Okay. I could have you head to Japan, which I will do. I do have some decent one here. Right, we'll take you. Kanko. Right, you're gonna head here. I mean, I could actually have something based over here at this island, but at the end of the day, the enemy submarines are going to be heading over here. So that's what we'll do then. So you're going to head over there to Kagoshima. Kagoshima SW. Now these destroyers can come in great use. It's their speed that really makes them very, very handy. There we go, this is where they'll remain. How good is your sonar? I don't think we really have sonar. Well, we'll probably have sonar. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have sonar. Yeah, we will definitely have sonar. But I'd say not very good. Okay. Indeed, good old binoculars. Right. So we'll start here. I mean, this is it. We're going to have overlapping patrols as well, which is really quite nice. I think in the end of the day, if I have the area constantly patrolled, as best as we can possibly manage, then that will really leave THG with very little room to maneuver. So we'll have this other patrol boat join that force. Okay. Do the PT boats even have sonar? Couldn't answer that, I could try and check. Right, meet. There we go. And merge with that. We'll change your home port to that area there as well, to Kagoshima. Okay. have the other the other patrol boat that has the higher endurance head out here as well. Then the kamikaze and the okikaze can be used for other tasks. Okay, things will get confusing in terms of all the overlaid patrol patterns, but it's not too bad. I mean, if we work things out, so we have it going like this, then like this. This one heads here. This one heads here as well. Having this head towards Nagasaki as well, because obviously this is the end of the day. This is the main port here. Then. Do we have this one heading this way? No, we have this one heading this way. So I think this one starts here. Ends out about there. Yeah, it does get really confusing. But we do have overlapping patrols. And that's what I need. The long-range patrol plane, that is a torpedo too. Well, bombs are effective against submarines. But we'll have patrol planes, we'll have reconnaissance, we'll have them work together. Right, now over here at Fukuoka. Do I not have any? Seems I actually don't. How about Fusan? Just the one. Decent patrol range though. A few destroyers here. Fusan isn't it? What I can do as well is I can fill in these gaps in the actual patrols in the future as well. Should be really quite nice. If I try to keep the Sea of Japan clear of enemy submarines, I will be very happy. That would mean I could just concentrate on just really on this area. Do have an APD then, obviously. That's quite nice. Okay, what we'll do is we'll figure out our patrol patterns with the actual patrol boats that we do have, and then the ships remaining, in terms of destroyers, we'll have to use in the future to figure out convoys. I do have a couple things else I need to do in terms of actually sending naval assets out from Japan. We do have much to do. Like, for example, Kiributai will be on its way. Definitely. Midway bombardment. Engine tankers, midway replenishment, midway bombardment. Yeah, the straits up here to the north are definitely worthwhile defending. What it might be worth doing is, in fact, actually having some supply and fuel actually shipped over to one of those islands, building up to some degree to act as a true gatekeeper. So make sure we turn retirement off. Okay, good. Altitude, okay. That's fine, so they're going to be set to an airfield attack. I don't need that many planes on combat airport. Well, actually, Right, what I'm going to do then is actually set that to 10. Have more fighters available. Okay. Port attack. Let's see. I need to figure out the best actual... altitude really for the bombing. As I will be using certain pilot skills. Trying to find them. Just got something on the second screen here. Okay. So dive and attack is 10,000 feet to 15,000 feet. That's fine, so they're on a good altitude. That's fine by me. Right, so they're good to go. Indicate. Using torpedoes. Now they are flying at 10,000 feet. So they'll be flying. So 1,000 feet to 9,000 feet is a normal horizontal attack, so that's what they need. Okay, that works out just fine. So yep, Kirubutai is good to go. Let's see. Now I do have... How many float planes do I have? I only have 13 here. 15 total. Yes, there are house rules. We did go over them in one of the earlier sessions. But in principle, there's no direct American carrier hunting to begin with, at least in the first turn. The reason of that is, for example, like I don't know personally because I've never played as the Allies where exactly the carriers are. It's like I know obviously from historical knowledge that they are around Pearl Harbor. But what we'll do then is obviously stick to that, attack Pearl Harbor. We will try to locate the enemy carriers using submarines. I think that's fair. At the end of the day, they are there for that purpose. There are, of course, more rules, but what I'll do is once the first turn is finally underway, I'll post like a link to the rules or what we've decided on. We're also going with no troops out of China, at least not many troops out of China, nothing ridiculous out of China. Which I'm fine with. At the end of the day, I can't really be transferring troops out of China, at least to begin with. No 4-engine bombing ports below 10,000 feet. No 4 engines in China, bombing Chinese industry on my part, or obviously Japanese industry being bombed. No night missions yeah, potentially. Yeah, B-72s can hit ships, that's very true. Have you thought about occupying Honolulu or the Hawaiian Islands? I'd love to, man. I'd absolutely love to, but it is going to be bloody hard. I'll turn their reaction up to 6. Right, so what I'm going to do here then is take a look for my actual reconnaissance planes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set some of them to operate at night. There we go. So there's the tone. Her aircraft will operate at night. Well, then again, actually, let's see. We'll have you operate in the day. And the others can operate at night. Chikuma. Right, you operate at night. Okay, so we'll have 10 aircraft, well, yeah, around about, anything from 9 to 11 aircraft in the operating in day, while the rest can operate at night. Okay. Okay, so that's Kirubutai sorted. If we were to throw patrol boats over here, we'd have to choose one of these islands. Let's see which one would be the best. So we have port capacity of 1. I do have some troops over here already, actually. Fortress. Could be potentially useful. Could be potentially. 0 port capacity. Now, port capacity of 3 is actually rather nice. It does have a decent amount of fuel. And you do have supply. So, you know what? That's not bad at all. Indeed. Okay, so that's something. I think if we were to use a port all the way on these islands, I think we'd use over here. Or even, potentially, a port over here at Hokkaido. Actually, Bihoro would probably be the best idea. Port capacity of 1. transport capacity 3. So yeah, we'll use over here, and then we could use another one over here. So Para Mishirojima could serve as a good one. So then we have joint work between them. Okay. So we'll get back to our task of working on the patrols. I think once we get Japan done, then things will flow significantly faster. I'll also have to take a look at Transport Task Force as well. Now, I'd say we probably have maybe another 3 hours before we're ready for the first turn. There's a lot to do, but things will run quicker and quicker and quicker. We've done with the industry. We've done a lot of the harder stuff, so that's good news. The good thing is as well, I just need to concentrate on the main choke points around Japan. I don't need to patrol every little place, so that's fine. Hello there, Cassie, how you doing, my friend? What we'll do as well with this one is we'll have that change to Fusan. I need to increase the amount of patrols over there. So we'll have this, so Fusan SWPB2. Well, have it as PB1, as it'll join that other force. Action, okay. Have you meet that task force over here. Don't forget about the Task Force Z. Yeah, that's very true. Do need to be careful of the Prince of Wales and and the Battle Cruiser Repulse. Yeah, those islands are your forts along the seawall. That's very true. Right, so you're going to head out there. No patrol boats, just 2 oilers. No patrol boats. I do have 2 sub-chasers here, however. What are the goals of a regular Japanese run? Invade all the islands, occupy China, and destroy the US fleet? Pretty much. At the end of the day, the Japanese goal is to establish autarky. If the Japanese can actually have a sustainable economy, which they have to fight tooth and nail for, obviously protects against allied attacks on her convoys, but if she can actually have a sustainable economy, then she can fight for a long-ass time. Comes down to victory points then. If you want to be slightly gamey, you can deny the US 2/3 of its CVEs by taking Poland. That'd be rough. I don't think I'll do gamey stuff like that. Unless we can legitimately reach that and hold on to it to a degree. Not just like land troops and then get out sort of thing. Okay. We'll have you based over here at this port. And we'll have you running pretty much continuously. At the end of the day, we don't have a huge amount over here, so I need to run more. At the end of the day, we'll work with the other patrol boats in the area. What are the victory points? Every base is worth a certain amount of victory points. Like, for example, here, value to Japan, value to the Allies. Tokyo, value to Japan, value to the Allies. Massive. Massive difference. Oh, that's patrol. Okay. Seems I can't set the patrol until they arrive, so that's fine. Intriguing. I mean, I'll definitely consider it. If I can pull it off, I'll probably try it. That is intriguing. Right, this patrol zone is rather important, as we obviously do need to control the approach to Osaka. So we'll have it start over here. Fucking hell, 49? That's madness. There we go. Keep it very, very close to Japan. I do need to secure this area. So if I... Wow, we have a lot more at Hiroshima. Now, setting up the ASW patrols around Japan isn't going to take too long, which is really nice. Okay, some nice ones over here. Okay. Well, these are awkward speeds. Awkward endurances as well. Oh boy. Okay, we'll set them up as separate task forces. And then at the end of the day... Well, then again, no, we'll have two of them. We'll have them together. So 11 and 12. Then you could operate with these sub-chasers. Then again... No, we'll operate you all together. Might as well make the use of those numbers. You need to hold off this area. And then here. Okay. Also, if you decide to take Alaska, you can bomb out the entire Allies' reconnaissance plane production. Damn, Black Star, you played to win, my friend. I can imagine that really crippled them in a lot of ways. Have you operate continuously as well. This is a very important location to control. Lingering in this area. At the end of the day, they have they have their reaction on. So if they detect something, they'll engage it anyway. Okay. Two sub-chasers here. I think I'll have them transferred to Fusan and this area, as I do need to strengthen that. See, that's where most of our anti-submarine warfare assets will go, up to that area. So transfer you to Fusan. Okay, we do have some showboats here. Now it's an interesting point to consider. I'm not going to say no. I think we'll see how the game flows and see what we can really pull off. I think we'll be really fairly well prepared. At least we'll be well prepared enough to at least not do horrifically bad. We can give a good accounting of ourselves, I suppose. Wow. Yeah, we do definitely need more bloody supplies in soon. I'm going to set up at least some patrols around most of the important naval bases as well. So at the end of the day, I do need to make sure we can float in and out of them without issues. Ideally, anyway. We'll set this out a little bit further. There we go. Okay, nothing here. Now, Shimizu. Shimizu. No patrol boats. Yokohama will definitely have some. Okay, we'll have them run together, of course. This one is definitely very important. I do want to control the approaches to Tokyo. What do we have at Tokyo? I may have a few more patrol boats. I do have another 2, so that's fantastic. There we go. He theoretically does not have to, as defender of the city will force the allies to a defensive battle. No, I'd like to know these things. Do tell, do tell. As to whether I use them is really... it depends on if I class them as gamey. At the end of the day, I do want a really good game with THG. I don't want to win through, like, gamey means as such. It's like I just want a good solid game with them. I think something like that will definitely be intriguing. Plus, it's not even a bad thing for us to actually lose. I mean, this is it. We don't have to win as Japan. In the end of the day, it's close to impossible as we are dealing with unlimited production of the Allies. And, yeah, I'm okay with that. I'd like to win. And I will damn well try my best, but I'm okay with losing. I think at the end of the day, playing a losing battle is rather exciting. I really do believe that. Okay, these escorts are rather intriguing. Very poor anti-submarine. But again, they are escorts. It might be just worthwhile having them in with the convoys. Okay, at least we have a little bit more choice over here, so I can set up some proper patrols again, which is really nice. On the NATO. Oops. Now, this one's easier to control. So what I'll do is I'll start off close to Ominato. We will have quite a few patrol boats here as well, ideally. Now, we should be able to control the Sea of Japan fairly easy. Yeah, the way you win is the VP balance through the war. Very, very true. Yeah, there shouldn't be an allied submarine. I don't believe there'll be an allied submarine in here. I don't believe that. I'm not entirely sure without obviously knowing. Also, if you do use a conservative strategy, holding in Dutch East Indies is critical due to the oil. Very, very true. I mean, what we're doing is, obviously take a look at further stratagems and really push out there. I think what I'm going to do in terms of changing things is, regarding New Guinea, I think I'm going to actually just completely reverse track there, as I don't believe the invasion ships have actually left port. So what I could do then potentially is go for different Pacific islands. I might even make a big push towards Midway, which would be really, really rather intriguing. It'd be one of those where it'd be very daring, so I think weight could be achievable. But as to the other islands, would it be perhaps more useful to instead concentrate on even a sooner invasion of Borneo, even perhaps sending, well, extra invasion forces to the Philippines, so we could start securing the southern islands, or even just extra forces to help take the Philippines in general. A lot of different questions there that could be done, and I think it's something that we do have to patrol, well, explore really. I could even throw things out even more, and try to invade Rabaul, which is something I have been considering. Do I go for Rabaul just immediately? I try to head off the Lexingtons if they do try, well, if they do indeed try to head out that way. Aminato. There's a lot to be considered. We do have a lot left to set up, and I like that. Okay. We will have more patrol boats here. These are vital waterways to control. Right, you're unassigned. That's good. Okay. And you know how bad the Philippines was in... yeah. I mean, this is it. I think at the end of the day, if it becomes too difficult, for example, to take Bataan, we'll ignore it. We'll just dig in and just ignore it. Okay, another 2 sub-chasers here. Fantastic. We'll have them move in the opposite direction. Okay, Hakatati. I mean, these are really the gates into the Japanese fortress. The Sea of Japan does need to definitely be open and clear to us. And just, well, I can't allow allied ships in there. That will make things significantly more difficult to deal with. I could do with actually sending some patrol boats down to Awaki. Oh, sorry, to send that. No, yeah, we are still going to Awaki, aren't we? We're going to Awaki. So I could definitely do with sending some patrol boats out this way. ACP, really. There we go. Another thing to consider is it wouldn't be a bad idea to potentially have torpedo boats around here. The idea being that if there's something like a light warship or something of that nature that does try to make its way through, or even something larger, we could mass a number of torpedo boats and just try to rush the thing. That could be worthwhile. Okay, no patrols here. Yeah, Japanese anti-submarine warfare is just really bad to begin with. Right, I do have 2 sub-chasers over here. I'm going to send those over to Wakanai. Reason being, at least that's on the island here. Should theoretically have more. 3 and 3. Fuel, 20,500. 500, yeah, I'll have them based there. Yeah, keep some light cruisers and divers ready to hit any surface force that may attack. Also, your Mavis and obviously planes do carry torpedoes. That's very true. Have them set to their new home port. Yes, planes are exceedingly deadly against aircraft when used properly. There we go. The problem with that is that at the start of the war, the USA already had universal air detection radar. Well, radar on submarines. Indeed. Issue is they come out of here. So I'll patrol this area. Make sure they can't enter this way. Of course, I need to control this area too. Which is a hell of a lot more difficult. I could do with sending more patrol boats up this way for definite. Okay, some more patrol boats are definitely needed here. I do have another 2 sub-chasers. So we'll have this as a Toya Hara patrol. ASW patrol. 1. There we go. So we'll have them moved up that way. Actually, I do need to send them there first. Toya Hara. Not much fuel there. Okay, I do have more here. I think this is where the threat towards our convoys are going to come from, as he's going to suspect me to be the weakest here, which I'm more than likely going to be. So I think we'll really focus on this area. But I think probably basing ourselves, maybe here to Wakadai. Then again, is it worth it to patrol along here? Possibly, but I'd rather have longer range patrol boats, even destroyers potentially. Yeah, there's not a lot of fuel, so I'll base them at Wakadai. These gunboats, they do have some anti-submarine capabilities. They are bloody fast. That's for damn sure. I think something like that could be worth actually... Where do we station those? I think they'd probably act as a better hunter-killer group. Send them out that way. There we go. Now I do have some... Are they already all deployed? Yeah, we do have still 2 more though. Okay, what I'll do is I'll have them sent down to Waki. Then again, no. We'll have you sent over here to Kishibo. The reason being, we really don't have anything else there, and there is a port where we will be picking up resources, so I do need to cover that. Right, I do have a patrol boat here. You can join that other patrol boat that will be sent down this way. Okay, send you over that way too. Okay, Kijo has no port, well, actual port defenses. I do have 2 escorts. I think controlling this area is going to be more difficult. I could control it here. That is a potential. I think at the end of the day, it may be worthwhile. What will happen to the other War in the Pacific campaign? It will continue, but what I'm doing here is I'm doing these. I'm doing a lot of these sessions here just to get my turn done. It does take an exceedingly long time. I've never spent this much time on a War in the Pacific turn, and at the end of the day, the reason for that is I wasn't as experienced in the last series, in this series that's ongoing at the moment. So as I'm going to be playing against a human opponent, being that of the historical gamer, I do need to really pull my pull my boots up. So we are spending a long time, and we don't have that long left. We're coming up to what, 10 hours now? Probably close to 10 hours, if not 10 hours already. So it might be that it comes to 11 or 12 hours, but it will be worthwhile. Once we actually do go ahead into the first turn, we'll see the fruits of our labour, and ideally will prove worthwhile. We do have a lot of strategies to really consider. Like, for example, if we draw here our actual patrols around Japan. So these are the areas that we're actually patrolling at the moment. What I'm considering here is Mapo. I don't know if that has an actual port. It may be worthwhile. Let's actually take a look. Okay, so you do have a level 3 port. You have a level 1 port. Let's see. You head into Port Arthur, Hakodate, Shanghai. Okay. So we can see here. This is the route that we have to protect. So what we could do then is we potentially could base troll boats here. If I can keep the Yellow Sea clear of enemy submarines, I'd be very happy. So I think it might be worth it to actually focus on this area. So we'll base escorts down that way. I think the convoys over here will have to be guarded by submarines, of course. Well, sorry, not by submarines, by destroyers. But if I actually do go ahead, let's see. Oh, wow. They not have that ASW value? They do. Oh, no. Ooh. These aren't particularly useful then to me, are they? They do eventually gain ASW. Yeah, we could place hunter-killer squadrons there. That's true. I think we'll have, well, we'll definitely have more patrol boats as time goes on. What I can do as well is we'll be able to convert a lot of these cargo ships in Osaka to be rather poor patrol boats, or potentially middling patrol boats. But at least I'll fill them in numbers. So then at least the sub-killers, well, the sub-chasers can be used as a hunter-killer forces purely. Okay, now, these escorts, how to make use of them? They do have a decent AA capability. Not gonna lie, not gonna lie. I think an idea for them would be to actually have them as a covering force then. Yes, we do have an APD here as well. Pretty good, pretty good. And an actual destroyer. Okay. Oh, wow, there's a slow APD. Okay, so the APD and the escorts. They could actually be used to ferry troops up the river into China. Like, for example, I could have troops travel from Shanghai to Hankow via the river. So that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Fast transport. I like that. I like that. So we'll have them based at Shanghai. Okay. 2 patrol craft. Okay. 2 destroyers here, so they will be, of course, used for the escort convoy routes. So Port Arthur... well, convoy. Keep them based here. Can we put sonar on seaplanes or torpedoes? We'll eventually have access to sonar, unless we already have it on some models. But bombs are more effective against submarines. But we could eventually have seaplanes with torpedoes with sonar too. I mean, obviously they do have seaplane. Well, sonar. They do already have torpedoes. But if we're hunting other things other than submarine shin, then hell yeah, they could be handy. Okay, I really wish I had more destroyers up this way. Right. We'll have these sub-chasers patrol very close to Shanghai. Two days here. Well, I'll do with you then. Let's consider. Right. Yeah. Now, this may seem a little bit strange for me to name it that. I was considering using it as a patrol boat out this way, but I think we'll use it just obviously to extend our range here. Actually, no. No. Let's go for it. Right, what I'll do... And then what I can try to do then is fill this up so we actually have like a solid patrol going across the sea lane. Okay. Right. This is the issue. I need to transfer patrol boats. I do have lots and lots and lots of patrol boats. They're just not when I need them right now. So once we do have the amphibious invasions underway, we'll be able to send more patrol boats back to this area to be of use. I do have patrol boats here. But I do need to patrol these areas. Actually, you know what, bugger it. These guys are going to be shipped over to Shanghai. Then I need to control this area. If I can control this area, at least to a decent standard, that is going to save me so much heartache. I will have patrol boats around in Formosa anyway to fill in these gaps. Yeah, like over here. Destroy minesweepers are really quite valuable to me. Now, I do apologise if this is rather boring to watch. I can imagine it probably is. There's a lot that's gone into consideration. But what I've wanted to actually try to do here is do this from start to finish of my decisions and reasoning. But through the power of YouTube, you guys will be able to choose if you want to actually watch all of this, if you don't. So that's always a good thing. But for those of you who do at least have something, well, you might actually be able to learn something. End of the day, a decent tutorial is to really watch and learn and do yourself. I mean, that's how I learn games as well, as I play. But not everybody's like that. Right, do I not have any patrols here? That's awesome there, Radical. I'm glad it's helping. AMC and oiler tanker. Transport as well is quite nice. Should have some patrol boats around here. Just a motor torpedo boat. Nothing that of use. Okay, these AVs are really nice. Mine tender. Transport. That is a really nice troop capacity. While we have the opportunity, we're going to send you to Nagasaki. Yes, all of these ships. There we go, send them. They will take some time, but at the end of the day, this is the safest part for us to actually get these guys back to Japan. THG mark. Is this the Guam covering force? Yes, we have the Guam cover force. So obviously they're going to be on their way down here. Remain on station. Just a minesweeper. Over here we do have 2 patrol boats. There we go. What I can do as well is, once we do start to see submarine activity in the area, is we can mix things up by actually changing the days we linger at certain locations, which will obviously change the way in which we interact. Well, interact with the enemy submarines, as obviously they can't think, right, okay. It really depends on how much attention THG will be paying in. Because he could try to figure out my actual patrol patterns if I'm not careful. So I will have to be very diligent and change them fairly regularly. There we go. What aircraft do I have here? So these are search planes. Okay. What is the size of the airfield? So we have size 3 here. Do I fly them over Guam? I don't need to fly them over Guam. I'm not going to fly them over Guam. The reasoning is I don't want them shot down or damaged. Their range. Not massive, is it? Okay. So a couple of them be out searching, a couple of them training, a couple of them resting. I think we'll set that as our standard. Now this is a very important base out here. So it does need to be defended. Babel Dua. They do have their reactions on, so if they do detect something, they will try to engage with it, which is good. So these patrol patterns look like they might miss a lot, but at the end of the day, they will pick on something, if they do find it. Now, I do have a number of H6Ks over here. These are valuable aircraft. The airbase over here is size 3. What do we have in terms of aviation support? Now, that's what I want to see. Aviation support is actually pretty decent. I will expand the port here. How do I expand the port? I'm not going to expand the port. I'm going to expand the airfield, however. Yes, it's an important area right now, but it won't always be. Okay. That looks pretty good for me. Have them operate in a random arc. Right. These are some pretty good float planes. So these are obviously naval search. Their range is very good. Very, very good. Yeah. Normal radius, 8 hexes. So 295 nautical miles. There we go. Yeah, we've only seen patrol planes. The H6s, they are very capable. If they do find a actual ship, they will indeed attack. And with those torpedoes, they can do some big, big damage. Right, truck is exceedingly important. Wow, there's so many. What I'll do then is, since though the Marshall Islands are very close to Tortuga, sorry, not to Tortuga, to THG, is I'm going to have them sent out this way. I do need to protect myself here. I do have plenty of shorter range patrol boats, which I will have running around track. But these guys will be sent over here to this island. And at the end of the day, I could also have them sent on afterwards to Wake Island. Okay, so the rest can stay here. Have the slow ones operate together. I do need to set up a convoy to take fuel down here. We do have a hell of a lot of fuel, but that will be used up pretty damn quickly. If I'm really not careful. There we go. I'll have you sent elsewhere. And there we go. Okay. What I'm doing now is really I'm setting up these patrols for the Pacific Islands across the Empire, as this will not take us too long. It's not going to take us too long. I mean, once we do have ASW set up with the actual patrol boats, that's not that... I mean, that's a lot of stuff done there. That's a lot of the actual effort done and over with. Then I can look at, obviously, patrols around Japan in the air. We'll take a look at our aircraft pilots. Yeah, they're training as well. But frankly, the amount of stuff to be done is rapidly decreasing. So it may be very well one more session and we will be pretty much ready to go. Still not entirely convinced around my R&D, but we can make adjustments. The industry is really the most important thing. 11-11. A lot of patrol boats here. I do worry about this area, as frankly, we could see American carriers come this way. Very easily. I do need to send patrol boats around to these different islands as well. Okay, 1, 2... We'll have a spare one. So there we go, that makes things very neat and tidy. Right, what was the other island called? Right, Jaloot. Jaloot. I do have a decent amount of fuel here, so I'll have them base from there. A lot of decisions to be made, but things are definitely working out quite nicely. I think what we're going to be doing then is obviously massing for airstrikes at Manila, as well. We'll obviously be hitting Port Arthur. The ground orders aren't going to take too long. Frankly, once we get the ball rolling, once we actually finish the ASW patrols, once we finish like the pilot training, the things that do take the longest part, then really all that's going to be left is the fun stuff, which is going to be the general strategy in China, the naval strategy, putting together surface combat forces, that sort of thing. Really deciding where our amphibious task forces are going to be going. But other than that, the vast majority of stuff is already done now, which is really nice. Not much left to do. Okay. Hello there, Snake. How you doing, my friend? Yeah, that stream's going pretty good. We're just over 2 hours, so that probably takes us to about 10.5 hours now spent on the pre-turn, which is rather mad. I'm surprised I've not got insane. Or have I? But thank you to all of you who have actually kept up with this. It really does mean a lot. It really, absolutely does. So at the end of the day, this is a mammoth task. And I'm really not making that up. I'm so very happy I at least have some experience of doing something like this. But really being able to talk to you guys in the meantime really does make things a hell of a lot more fun. It makes it a hell of a lot easier to get this done, and I'm really thankful for that. It's great to interact with you guys. Okay, and then just one more patrol here. And as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty much the Pacific Islands done. Yeah, that's awesome. I think we'll try and get the ASW patrol sorted then, at least from ships in this actual... Your brain's working like clockwork. Man, you know what? I've done a lot of streaming lately. A lot of streaming. Okay. Trying to learn as much as I can. Okay, at least we'll have the main islands protected over here. From submarines anyway. Anything bigger is going to be... it's going to be rather dangerous. Okay. Yep, so all these islands are done. We do have some... Now, these are AMCs. Now, you do have actual floatplanes, which is really intriguing. You can see some French troops down here. I think what would be nice to do with you is, let's see... We do have Palmyra. I think what we could actually do then is have you head up towards Palmyra, as that could be a potential way for the American carriers to escape, a possible route. So it might be worth it to head this way. Do we have another AMC? This is a submarine out here. Hell of a long way to be out here. But I could have you cover Fiji. A port capacity 3, definitely worth well covering. Okay. Now, there's not going to be many patrol boats left to sort out. But this area is very important to cover. There we go. So the same pattern as before, so we'll have it head like this, then we'll have another one head like this. I think these interlocking but opposite rotational patrols will definitely work out. So at the end of the day, we have a chance to catch things as they try to make it through. So that's good for me. And good for you. There's only one available. Obviously, we did just take another one. There we go. Calm Bay is actually really quite a valuable asset to me. Do need to protect it. The good news is, once we do actually finish off a lot of these amphibious landings, we will have more patrol boats available, as we won't need all of them. So I can have them sent back to Japan to actually guard the convoy routes. We do have plenty of destroyers there, but what I will do is figure out the actual service task forces that service task groups I'll be putting together. Like, for example, we do have a light carrier and a escort carrier. We do have, what is it, like 4 to 5 battleships in Japan, as well as a bunch of surface ships. So what we need to do is obviously work out how to use them. We do need to plan for the stallion of Force Z. If they'll even be there, that's the question. But they probably will be, so we have to plan for that. We will plan a attack on Manila from VR. We'll have around about, 100 or so G3s, maybe G4s, like 100 or so naval bombers. Then the rest will be sent, what we have left over, will be sent to attack Clark Airfield. Really try to just absolutely destroy it. But there's going to be a significant amount of American submarines, of Allied submarines in Manila. So if I can hit Manila as hard as possible in this first turn, that is really going to help us out a massive amount. Frankly, every submarine, even slightly damaged, ideally damaged critically, even better sunk, is going to save countless tons of resources in the long run. Absolutely countless. Will be worthwhile. There we go, have you operated a little bit further out. More than likely will be facing a lot of submarine pressure here. There we go, superb. How about a Saigon? Saigon I can control, I can control a lot easier. Obviously we just patrol at the mouth of the river. Right, plenty of them here. Superb. Yeah, like that'll do. THG is either going to attack or defend after Pearl Harbor. Depends what type of mentality he uses. Now, personally, I think he's going to go for an attack. That's what I imagine he will do. I think he's going to be really looking at actually gathering his carriers. So I think as far as it goes, in terms of actually having Kiributai available for other action, I don't think it's going to be a possibility. My honest estimation of THG as a player is I think he's quite an aggressive player. I think he's very cautious. He's not stupid. He's by far more prone to an offensive than a defensive. But I do believe that his first real idea will be to gather his carriers together. So what I will do is I will try to seek him out to a degree. I'm going to play him I'm going to try and draw him in, really. The plan I'm thinking of here is... right, I just said that. Yeah, the plan I'm thinking here is, like, let's say... So obviously we have Pearl Harbor here. This is where... Well, his carriers are in this general vicinity. That's where they're going to be. I think what we'll do then is we'll have Kido head out over here. Obviously hit Pearl Harbor as hard as we can. And what we will then do in the following days is we'll head back, possibly towards this sort of area. Near enough that we're out of sight, but close enough that if we do see carriers, we can come back and we can hunt. What I'm thinking is if we can actually put together the amphibious task forces that we would have normally heading towards New Guinea, we could potentially use them to actually strike at these American islands, like Wake and even Midway. If I was to strike at Midway, I think that would definitely force his hand. I really do think it would force his hand. And it's an intriguing question, but is it worth it for all that? At the end of the day, I do need the Dutch East Indies. I really do. So it's one of those where we're going to have to do a lot of costs and balance assessment. I don't have infinite resources. I do have a more capable carrier fleet than THG does in the Pacific now, and I need to use that to its utmost. So frankly, it would be worthwhile having Kido used defensively. I think the issue is that we'd face as a Japanese player is against the Allied player. It would make sense for us obviously to keep Kido together, but I think what we'll do is we'll obviously detach Kido into two separate forces. Now I think one of them we would keep in this sort of area, and then the other one would be tasked with actually aiding the Japanese invasion of the Dutch East Indies, Borneo. But I think what we'll do is obviously, well, really keep our most modern carriers in this area. The carriers with the greatest capability. And I think probably keeping about 4 out of the 6 carriers in this area. So about 4 here. And then having another 2 fleet carriers, another 2 full carriers. Operate with the light carriers from Japan and the escort carriers. So it would form basically, so we'd have Kido and then baby Kido Butai operating in this area, and I think at the end of the day, this is going to really, it's going to have a significant strategic impact. Namely, we will have real power projection in this area, and this is where a lot of transport will be heading through in this vast open area. But we do need to make sure that THG is well aware that we do have carriers here. But the thing is, I can't stop the offences over here. I do need to support that, and I do need that air cover. So I think 2 full carriers, the slowest of our carriers, potentially the lowest air capacity of our carriers, will be sent over to this area. So then as obviously we increase our carrier strength, they can operate with the battleships, and frankly speed up the invasion here dramatically. But we can't afford to just hunt enemy carriers. We can't afford to just speed up the invasion of the Dutch East Indies, or Malaya or China, etc., using air power, or the Philippines indeed. We need to do both. If we do one, that is going to make it easy for THG to counter that, so we do need to do both. The reason I'm going to consider leaving 4 carriers out here is because, frankly, that is going to be an effective force. And I will be near my islands. I'd like to try and engage the American carriers near the Marshall Islands, if I can do so. I do have the major benefit of bunches of submarines out here, which is really nice. Even if he loses all his starting carriers, he will get new ones, so in time, so losing them for him is not the end of the war. On the other hand, you don't have the industry to rebuild your fleet. Yeah, this is it. At the end of the day, if I lose my carriers, I am losing critical assets. Absolutely critical assets. But the thing is, the entire Japanese war revolves around the economy. If I expose my economy, if I do not expand my economy fast enough, if I do not expand my access to resources fast enough, I will face utter defeat in a matter of time, regardless of my carriers. So we do frankly need to support the economy of Japan by using Kido to its utmost, which is going to require splitting it really. If we take a look at Kido, let's see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carriers. Now Kaga is intriguing. Kaga and Akagi. Let's see. 63, so aircraft capacity of 81. Kaga, 72. but her speed is 28. So, this is interesting. So we'd have, operating out in the Pacific, we'd have Shokaku and Zuikaku, which do have large complements of aircraft, 72. As well as those, we'd have Hiro and Soru. Now, Hiro has a capacity of 71. Frankly, the best thing here to do is probably consider the actual ships. So, ships... CV... Active. Ship classes. Right, available. At least here we can actually consider. So if we take a look then at tonnage, we'll sort them by tonnage. We'll sort them by air capacity, actually. So we are going to be dealing with the Lexingtons. Now, these are fucking beautiful light ships. They are so bloody beautiful. And so bloody fast. They are very fast. They do have a very high air capacity. So in reality, we can estimate that the Americans will have around about 3 Lexingtons if we don't sink one. Hello there, Christoph. Not today. Not today. We have perhaps one more session after this, and then we will be finally done with our return. So let's just see here. So we are expecting 3 Lexington-class carriers in... I think 3 Lexington-class carriers. I think... was it possibly 4? We had Lexington, Saratoga, Enterprise... Hornet? I can't remember the other. I'm sure. Is it 3 carriers or is it 4 carriers the Americans had in the Pacific at the start of the war? I can't recall. I know there was one near Midway. I know there was one potentially south of Honolulu. I know there's one either at San Diego or San Francisco. So I'm aware of at least 3 of them. So we'll go with around 3 carriers. So obviously, we're expecting around 270 Yorktown. Okay, Yorktown, that's it. So we can expect at least 270 aircraft in a American carrier fleet, sorry. Well, force, yes. Hornet as well. Okay, so we've got Lexington, Saratoga, Yorktown, and Hornet. So that brings us up to 4. Which is a lot. So we can expect 360 aircraft. Or is it 2? Well, we'll have to work on this assumption. We'll go on an assumption of 3. We'll go for the middle ground. See, this is it. I've never played as the actual allies, so I really don't know what they actually have on the ground. So we'll go with an assumption about 3. So if we were to face a combined fleet of 3 Lexington-class carriers, we're looking at 270 aircraft. Now, if we see here, if I was to send a Cargi, or cruise... No, yeah, max speed. Cruise speed is probably what we're looking at. Lexington, Saratoga, same class. Are the other carriers different classes? I need to do more research. Only 2 Lexington classes. Okay. Well, that's good then. At least that narrows things down. Right. So, US Navy. So they have these carriers available at the start. So we have potentially 2 Lexingtons, Yorktown. Right, Yorktown, Hornet, Enterprise, same class. So potentially 3 Lexingtons. Okay, so we're going to work with the assumption of 270 planes then. So what I'll do then is... a Cargi... Yeah, watch out for the Brits indeed. So Cargi and Karga will be dispatched back to East Asia. Shokaku, Zuikaku, Hiro, Soru will remain in the Pacific, I do believe. So let's work that out then, in terms of capacity. So we're looking to try and beat 270. So if we look at full capacity of 72... Well... Yeah, 72... times 2. So that's Shokaku and Zuikaku plus Hiro's at 71 plus Soru at 63. So that brings us to about 278. Yeah, so we're looking that we might be able to field that many aircraft. Obviously, how many of those are fighters, bombers, and torpedo bombers is a different matter. What we can sort of count on is that our more modern our aircraft carriers are somewhat more durable. Potentially. Right, or let's see. If we take a look at durability then. Well, deck armor is probably what matters. Oh, then again. Oh dear. Okay. Right, durability. So the Kargar is the most durable, then a Cargi, and then it's a Lexington. Not by a huge deal though, but they are slightly tougher. The belt armor is significantly higher, which is very nice. I mean, Karga has very, very good armor. So even that's actually not a bad idea, actually. Having Karga and a Cargi out in the Dutch East Indies and that sort of area in East Asia, frankly, they will be dealing with more attacks on them. It's a lot to be said of having them out in the Pacific, but their slower speed doesn't make them as useful. This is US bombs, you'll never have enough deck. Yeah, pretty much. Deck armor isn't massive. I mean, the Lexington has 50. The British carriers have the best deck armor at 75. Okay. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a really interesting series of questions that will have to be answered. But if I take a look, we do have carriers obviously still in Japan. It might be that versus some old Commonwealth stuff they help. Yeah. Okay. So I think having at least 4 carriers out in the Pacific is probably a good idea. I do have other carriers here at home. So we have a light carrier here, an escort carrier, seaplane carriers too. Let's see where all my carriers are. Ryuzo, and Zuho. Where are you? Oh, you're over here, aren't you? Okay. Ryuzo. Yeah, I don't have radar. Oh dear. Right. So in Japan, we do have Zuho and Hosho. Taigo is over here too, an aircraft transport. With nothing. USS Ranger was stationed in the Atlantic, but as a different class of carrier. Indeed. Yeah, we're looking at some time before we have the upgrades. Though what we are doing then to actually bring radar capabilities sooner is obviously we'll have Zuikaku and Shokaku able to upgrade to have radar. But we have found a workaround where if I go here to type, let's see. Well, we'll just look for the Minikaze. Okay, Minikaze. So the Minikaze upgrades to a APD. So the APD Minikaze. So for APDs. Actually, let's see here. APD. Right. I suppose it'd be listed under upgrades. No conversion. Actually, what I'll do then is I can take a look over here. I believe I have one of them here. Okay. So we have the APD variant of the Minikaze, so the Minikaze itself. Now, I will be able to upgrade you in August 1942 to actually have Type 13 radar. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to really try and just turn the Minikaze class into actually fairly capable radar APDs. And it's not a bad thing. They'll still be somewhat effective, obviously, in their role, but having that troop transport capability is not too shifty. And, of course, having the radar is really the main reason to do this. So it's going to be something that is going to bring radar to Japan sooner. Obviously, we'll have Shokaku and Zuikaku, but that's 2 carriers, and at the end of the day, they will be extremely limited in their roles, and well, they can't be everywhere. But at least we do have about 11 or 12 minikazes, so if in reality I could convert all of them into these APDs with the radar, so at least we'd have quite the addition of extra radar out there, which would be really quite nice. Kaga and Akagi were converted battleships from the 1920s, Lexington and Saratoga were converted battlecruisers. That's very true. Okay. So anyway, I'll finish off the patrol, or at least get this done, and then we'll... and again, let's see, how many do I have remaining? I don't think I have anything else. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll just finish this off. That will be the ship. Well, the surface vessel part of the ASW sorted out, then obviously we'll have to sort out the air. But that's fine. We're getting things done. Oh, wow, they're very short range. Have them operate just here at the mouth. I'm very much looking forward to using my APDs to take troops up into China, though. That could be a very nice way to use them. There we go. Out of there, and then what we'll do is we'll link it up. Then I'll have these last boat just covering between Camaran Bay and Saigon. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Okay, so that is that. Pretty much all the patrol boats at sea are sorted out, more or less. We'll obviously have more sent to Japan as we can get them. But we so far have things set up, so what we'll do then in the following session is we'll see what we can put together in terms of a surface strike force, so obviously have the carrier over here. What we'll be doing as well is we'll see here obviously the numbers of aircraft. So if I go here all types and I go heavy bombers, we don't have any. Level bombers, we do have a decent amount. So if I go by numbers and sort by Imperial Japanese Navy, you can see here that we do have a pretty decent amount, just over 90 level bombers. That will indeed strike. But they're not going to hit Clark. They're going to hit Manila's port. And we're going to hit that hard. We are definitely going to hit that hard. It's a size 5 port. So the damage done there is going to be absolutely critical. So we're going to hit it with around about 90 G3s and, well, G4s as well, G3, G4s. Really just try to annihilate it. Try to cause as much damage to the US forces as possible. The rest of the forces, the rest of the air forces around Formosa will be used to hit Clark. Can patrol boats move to Korea? Yeah, we could potentially move some patrol boats to Korea, to cover Kisho. I think what we'll probably do then, since the activity around there is going to be a hell of a lot less, is the convoys will have heavy escort. We don't need patrol boats as such, as at the end of the day, the submarines will have to try and get past this. This is what I want to try and set up. I think what we'll do then is we'll have things sort of worked out like this. So what I'll do here then is areas in yellow will be constantly patrolled as much as possible. Actually do that last one again. Try and actually patrol this area. Ideally here. Okay. So these areas will be consistently patrolled. Then in blue... Well, what I'll do is in black. So imagine our ship lanes are going to head like this. Which they obviously will do. Then we do have another one to come from the south. But what we'll do then is these convoys. So Shanghai, well, yeah, each of the convoy will have escorts in with it. But these will be the areas that we're consistently patrolling. I think over here in the Yellow Sea, it's one of those where the distance and ideally this will present a decent obstacle to American submarines. That we don't need constant patrols here, but rather just have the active patrols in forms of the, sort of the passive patrols in terms of the actual convoys moving back and forth. So I think that's what we'll be trying to do. Also, half of the actually useful little subs are going to be there / Singapore. I was thinking maybe they could find submarines with their speed in the channel. That's very true. It's a good idea. I mean, end of the day, I can see really what you're thinking here. It's obviously covering Kijos. Obviously, that's going to be where they're loading up. But these areas are going to be the ones where the patrol boats are going to be continuously, and then the convoys will be escorted by destroyers in these areas. Yes, we will use those planes, but that will be next time. So thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. If you have enjoyed this, and if you do want to support myself and the channel, please do consider donating. It is taking a lot of my time to do this, and I really can't wait. But it does go a long way to help me out, even if it's to help me buy some books on the War in the Pacific itself, so I could actually be more knowledgeable, and ideally a better presenter. So until next time, thank you, and goodbye. I hope to see you all again in the final session, probably the final session next time. Goodbye for now, guys. Have a great one. Have a great evening, great day at work, great day at school, great day out in the yard, I don't know. Have a great day. Fantastic. Goodbye.